All right, let's get rolling. Okay, the question for today is back in Yehave daat.
Can we do kal nidre before? Do we have to do before sunset, or can we do after sunset?
Exactly. Where are we for the people? If you want to know where we are, Yehave daat Aleph still. Like I said, most of the Mu'adim halachot is in Aleph, and we are in Siman 59 Nuntet. Like Moshe said, the question is, Moshe, if you want to sit here, I brought this so you can use your in memory of your father. You can use your book. The question is, Yeshnam הרבה בתי כנסת שנוהגים בהם למכור המצוות של פתיחת ההיכל והקמת ספרי תורה בליל יום כיפורים, עד שתפילת קל נידרה, I say קל נידרה, we say call over here, קל.
קל.
נאמרת בלילה ממש, ואם יש להם ממש שיסמוכו. If we sell all the kevodim, we sell all the things, we make a lot of money, kal nidre, they have speeches and everything. By the time we get to the action, it's pitch black outside. The question is, should we make sure to either speed up the selling and do kal nidre before Seta Kochavim, before the 3 stars come out nightfall, or maybe do the selling a different time and get rocking and rolling Yom Kippur right away?
Right. And the basis of the she'ela is because kal nidre is contractual,
yes.
and maybe perhaps we're not supposed to do
exactly. Which is what you're going to read first in 1 second, okay? Okay, so the first source he brings is Hen omnam daat harosh miyoma sheyesh lomar tefilat kal nidre mebe'od yom. The Rosh in Masechet Yoma says you have to say this prayer in the daytime, not after nighttime. Mishum sheshaninu b'Shabbat, the Masechet Shabbat towards the end. This is like one of the last pages of the Masechet Shabbat. It says, "En nish'alin l'nedarim b'Shabbat ela letzorech haShabbat." The question is, are you allowed to do hatarat nedarim on Shabbat, nullifying vows? If someone made a vow that they will not drink coffee, for example, and now they want to drink coffee, and now it's Shabbat, can they go to a rabbi or 3 people and say, I want you to do hatarat nedarim, get rid of my vow, because I want coffee?
He says you can if it's for the purpose of
the... So the Gemara says, if what your vow has nothing to do with Shabbat, then you can't do it on Shabbat. It's a legal proceeding. You can't do this on Shabbat. But if you need this for Shabbat, let's say grape juice, I will not drink grape juice, and I need to make kiddush, Shabbat, you need it, then you're allowed to go and make hatara on Shabbat, only if it's necessary for Shabbat. That's the halakha in the Gemara. And the same thing applies, v'hu adin l'yom kippurim. So the question is, hatarat nedarim, and the Gemara says over there in Shabbat, if you can do it before, do it before. Doing it on Shabbat is only last resort. If you can do it before, do it before. You're in a tough situation. Or for example, a husband in the old laws of the Torah, where if the wife makes a vow, the husband has 1 day to get rid of the vow. The day he hears about it, if he doesn't say it's over, he's not meferet, whatever, then the vow stands.
So
and so if she did it before Shabbat, then he had a chance before, he'd do it before Shabbat. But if he hears about it on Shabbat, and by the time that 1 day ends, Shabbat's going to be over, it's going to be Shabbat, and 1 day ends, then all he has is today. So that's called sort of Shabbat. He's allowed to do it on Shabbat.
Even though it's a nidre that's not related to the Shabbat.
Yeah, because that's all he has. I have to do it today. It's a last resort sort of a thing. And so, Ve'amirat kal nidre hi bebechinat shilat nedarim. Kal nidre, what is kal nidre all about? It's about getting rid of our vows. Ve'en le'omra b'yom kippurim, and therefore the Rosh says, don't say this on the holiday. Do it before the holiday. Syrians, we do hatara like 6 times. We do it 3 times in Elul. We do it Elul 3 times before Rosh Hashanah.
The synagogue in Israel where I pray, it's a Yosham, Misfadi, and everything. They do hatarat nedarim every week, every 2 weeks. They just like they finish that. Guys, hatarat nedarim.
Yeah, the Syrians, we do it a lot. It's also good in my community growing up. The first time you do it, way back when, it already signifies the holidays coming. It gets you in the mood. It's like a silihot sort of a thing. Everyone packs the shul. We do it Motzei Shabbat in Syrian communities. Saturday night they do it. Saturday night. right after Havdalah, and the women, they pack the shuls. Everyone comes for Hatara. Just for, just for Hatara. No, it's like a thing that's associated with the holiday, you know? So therefore, the Rosh says, do not do Hatara on Yom Kippur. Do it before. And so too in the name of Rashi's Ketav Yad, in the Siddur that he wrote, they say also that Rashi said you should not do Hatara Kal Nidre on the holiday. You got to make sure you do it before.
But we said about Tzorech Shabbat.
Yeah.
So we could claim that you need to be Matin Nadarim before Yom Kippur because we come before Kadosh Baruch Hu.
Right, that's the point.
Pure, we're ready.
So do it before. That's what he's saying. Do it before. We come from Minha in the daytime, a few minutes before sunset. So he's saying, do it after Minha, right before it gets dark. We're doing B'nai Shemashot, he's saying. Why do we wait? We do it a half hour after set, later maybe, by the time we do it. Okay, let's see what he says. Very good. Let's see what he says. So says the Rama, Tafresh Yotet. Want to open it quick? Tafresh Yotet. The Rama says, we should call him because he's Ashkenaz. No, that's already too far over there. It's going to be Choshim Mishpat because it's all 4 halakima in this thing. Yoreh De'ah. It's going to be way, no, because you're probably in Yoreh De'ah already.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Ora Haim. Yeah, it should be around here. Right after my bookmark. Tafresh Yotet. What does the Rama say? The Rama says try to do Kal Nidre before sunset. Yeah? You find it quick? You look for that and I'm going to go on, okay? So it's Tafresh Yotet. There's a Rama in the small letters. וכן הסיד על זה הגאון מהר"ל ישראל בספר שני אליהו. וכן כתב בספר מאורי האור, עיין שם, so too those rabbis agree. Okay, אולם, however, יש מקום ליישב המנהג של הרבה בתי כנסת, הנוהגים לומר בהם תפילת קל נדרי בליל יום הכיפורים. There is a place, there is a room to validate the custom that many shuls have to say Kal Nidre late at night. Because the Ribash writes, to speak well on our behalf and to justify our minhag. Since you're saying hatara on the past, right? What do you got, Moshe?
ליל יום הכיפורים נוהגים שומר שליח הציבור בישיבה של מעלה ובישיבה של מטה, על דעת המקום ועל דעת הקהל, המתחילים וכו'. ואחר כך אומר שהחיינו בלא כוס.
רמה?
הגר. ואחר כך מתפללים ערבית ונוהגים לומר כל נדרי באותו יום.
באותו יום, the Rama says. So if you're Ashkenaz, this is the Rama. The Rama says you should do this Kal Nidre in the daytime, not in the nighttime, the Rama says. Tafresh Yud Tet, 619.
Yeah.
Okay, Moshe, we moved on. The Ribash writes, and he says, since our Kal Nidre is on the past, it's really on the past and on the future, right? Remember the words of Kal Nidre?
Yeah.
Kal Nidre ve'esare, right? Dinedana v'di ishtemana, v'dina dena v'dina dena, v'di haram, right? All these things. It's all Aramaic words. It's, by the way, highly recommended, but it'll take a lot of time. If you want to check out Masechet Nidarim, it's too late now. It's very complicated Masechet next year. The laws of Nidarim, they could break your head. The words in Aramaic, special words. All these words in Kal Nidre come from the Gemara. These are words, special code words that someone wants to accept upon himself in Nidre. And the Gemara talks about, at length, can you do something, can you nullify Nidarim for the past? Can you nullify for the future? It's very complicated stuff. In general, I saw Rabbi Eli Monk, who I love. He's a great author. He has pages, maybe 9 pages he wrote about the halachic validity of Kal Nidre. So many people say Kal Nidre is a bunch of nonsense. So many poskim hold Kal Nidre it doesn't work. However, it's still with us. We still say it. Let's continue with the Ribash. The Ribash says, what is the last pasuk of Kal Nidre? So we finished the Kal Nidre with like a bakasha, a forgiveness. What does that do with forgiveness? Is it a legal procedure or not? Kal Nidre is to nullify vows. What do we got to add in forgiveness at the end? And so the Ribash says, since we end with the bakasha of siliha, we're saying we need Yom Kippur.
So it's not a contract anymore. It's a type of
It's
bakasha.
well, besides for that, no, that's a second answer. That's good also, but that's a second answer. The first answer the Ibash is saying is yes, it's a legal procedure, kal nidre. And yes, we shouldn't really want to do it on Yom Tov. We should do it before dark. However, it's Sorech Yom Kippur. Why is it Sorech Yom Kippur? Because without the special kapara and Slicha Yom Kippur, Hashem would never do this for us. That's what the Ribash is saying. The fact that we add at the end, V'nislach l'chol adat Yisrael, shows you this whole kanidre is requiring Yom Kippur. That's why we're doing it on Yom Kippur, dafka at night. Without the Yom Kippur component, it wouldn't work. So in his words, "Itzumo shel Yom Kippurim mechaper, shehu Yom mechila uslicha v'chapara, lefichach nechshav hadavar ketzorech hayom." It's considered required to be on Yom Kippur, the dafka. So they should atone for us. Therefore, you can say it at nighttime, adkan, the words of the Ribash. But what he said is still good. We'll get there. What does he write? Okay, fine, they agree. Besides for this, we can say according to what the Rashba writes, the custom is, if the entire kahal took a harem, let's say the entire, we don't do this these days, if the entire kahal makes a joint unified vow, for whatever reason, let's say...
so those days they were living in isolated Jewish communities.
We don't do this anymore. Let's say, I don't know, this could be a really bad example, so just take it with a grain of salt. I'm making it up purely on my own. Let's say there's a establishment, a butcher in the neighborhood that the rabbi doesn't believe is kosher. So he's going to say, all of us are going to vow, unless he changes his ways, that we're not going to buy from this guy, whatever it is. And then they want to nullify the vow. They want to nullify and get rid of it. Now it's a group harem. It's a group vow. So just like it was taken upon in a group, it has to be nullified in a group. And so therefore, so if you want to remove a group vow, when do you do this? On a Sunday, on a Monday, on a Tuesday? The custom is do it on Shabbat. Why on Shabbat? Are you going shopping on Shabbat at the butcher? My example is not so bad, actually. Are you going shopping on Shabbat? What are you going to do on Shabbat for? Do it on Sunday. However, the minhag of Israel is Torah. If they're doing it for a reason, it must be good. What does that mean? It's Aramaic.
The gathering is in the Shabbat.
Nobody shows up to shul on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, right? You want people.
Answer the WhatsApp.
Nobody comes. Nobody comes. You want people. You need people. When do people come? People come on Shabbat, right? Was it you who was asking me why we do Torah? It was your son.
Yeah.
He asked me. His son just asked me. It has to do with this. Why do we have Sefer Torah on Minha Shabbat? He asked me. My son actually asked me the same question. I told you. My son asked me the same question. How come Shabbat is the only time we have Torah in the afternoon? Never else. Yom Kippur we have it in the afternoon, but never else really we have Torah in the afternoon. And remember the answer I said? Ta'anit also. Yeah, okay, good. All right. Anyway, what's the answer? The answer is there's a takana they made. People were just going home on Shabbat, eating, sleeping, schmoozing, playing sheshbesh. Nobody's going to learn. No one's going to shul. And so they said, how do we get people come back to shul Shabbat afternoon? We want to hear them so they can hear Rabbi Adato's class. How do we get that? And so if we make Sefer Torah, people come to hear Sefer Torah. Even over here in shul, the minyan grows on Monday and Thursday. There's more people. People come when there's Sefer Torah involved. And so that's literally the reason why they made Sefer Torah on Shabbat, to attract people to come back. You want a kenufia, you want a large crowd. Okay. If you don't do this procedure on Shabbat to nullify, let's say the butcher harem, you're never going to get the whole shul together on another day. You'll never be able to be mati, to nullify this thing. That's why we do it on Shabbat. כדין הפרת נדרים שמפר אותם הבעל בשבת אף על פי שאין לו לצורך השבת מן הטעם הזה שאם יעבור השבת לא יוכל הבעל להפר שאין לו מפר אלא ביום שומעו כאן, which is what I just said. Just like the husband, if the wife makes a vow and says, I'm never shopping at Target again, which would actually be a great vow. I would love that. Target's one of those dangerous stores where you walk in and she spends 5 times the amount that you thought she would. But let's say she says, I'm never going to shop in Target again. And I hear about it on Shabbat. Again, as a husband, I have one day I have one day to say yay or nay to this thing. And so although it has nothing to do with Shabbat, she's not going to Target on Shabbat, I am allowed to break that vow on Shabbat because it's my only shot. Same thing with the crowd of people, that's your only shot. It's the only time you can do it is when you have a crowd of people. I put a bookmark there. Ora Haim, Siman, Shin, Mem, Aleph, Seif, Gimel. See, you could read Seif Aleph too if you want. See, 341. It's very short. It should be right on top. 341. You want to read them quick? Maran.
אין דנין?
Yeah, let's do it.
אין דנין, אגב, ולכן אסור לתפוס להכניס לבית הסוהר מי שיתחייב איזה עונש כדי שלא יברח.
Next one.
אוקיי. ולא מקדשים, לא חולצים, ולא כונס פעם.
נדרים. Do the נדרים one.
כמה, סימן שין מם.
שין מם א'.
מתירים נדרים בשבת, אם הם לצורך השבת, כגון שנדר שלא לאכול או שלא לשתות, אף על פי שהיה לו פנאי להתירם קודם השבת. אבל הבעל יכול להפר נדרי אשתו, אפילו שאינם לצורך השבת, מפני שאם לא יפר לה היום, לא יוכל עוד להפירם.
This is exactly what we just said. You're allowed to do hatarat nidarim on Shabbat if you need it for Shabbat. Go ahead.
מי שנשבע לעשות מלאכה פלונית עד זמן פלוני, ולא נזדמן לו לעשותה עד יום האחרון של אותו זמן, באותו יום בא בשבת, ויש לו פתחים להתיר נדרו, נשאלין אפילו בשבת.
Okay, so you're allowed to do. So someone asks you, are you allowed to do hatarat nidarim on Shabbat? The answer is really you're allowed to. Go ahead.
נהגו להתיר חרמי הקהל בשבת, אף על פי שאינם לצורך השבת. ועיין לאל סוף סימן שין.
It's exactly what we just said. You're allowed, if you have a group, if you want to have a group, by the way, halachically, this may extend to other things. I don't know. You can ask a posek. But if you have something you need the whole kahal to do something for, and it's really not a Shabbostic, let's say, thing, a good example might be like a shul vote or something, or, financial discussions. I don't know. This over here, this is the only chance you have the whole shul.
Really, the chidush is that the tzorch of the kahal brings it to a level that it becomes like a tzorch Shabbat.
It's tzorch Shabbat.
And for that, you can take that concept of tzorch kahal, it could be applied to other places. That's a chidush.
Maybe. I've heard some people complain that in Yom Kippur we do some random speeches. The president gets up, like State of the Union and the shul. What does that have to do with Yom Kippur? It may be included in the same thing. This is the only chance we have where everybody's present and they can hear this important message that we have to say. I don't know. It could be. All right, let's continue. Okay. There's so too for Kal Nidre. A large portion of the crowd for Yom Kippur, they come very late to shul on Yom Kippur until it's dark. Not only are you allowed to say it at night, says
you need to.
You should say it at night.
It becomes like the husband that is the only window.
Right. Why would you want some people to miss it? So again, the Rama in Shulchan Aruch says, the Ashkenaz Posek, Rama says you have to say Kal Nidre Nohagin, he says, not you have to. The custom was to say it in the daytime before it gets dark. Now we're saying the opposite. Sfaradim, we're saying the opposite. We wanted everyone to hear Kal Nidre. And so even for those guys that come last minute, let's make it late at night. Let's sell the aliyot. Let's sing whatever we sing Yom Kippur at night. This way everyone enjoys Kal Nidre.
Actually, this da'ah is not soteret et harama be'echrach. Basically says, milchatchila, it makes sense to do it like the Rama, but then we have the tzorech tzibur,
right,
and we have a new element built into it. That's why we're doing it like this.
In other words, this is the reality. People come late.
Exactly.
However, it is true. The Hida disagreed with this. The Hida is a big, he's a heavy hitter. He's a big posek. Sfaradi, Moroccan. The Hida says, he brings this opinion that says you can do Al Kal Nidre at night, and the Hida argues, and the Hida says, and he says his words are the Fichach lo yafeh osim b'minhagam zeh. It's not a good custom to make it late. You should do Kal Nidre in the daytime, says the Hida, not the nighttime. Moshe, listen to this. The Hida's words. The Hida says, "Kama kehilot, kahalot, shayu nohagim lemchor hamesvot beleil Yom Kippurim, all these shuls that they sell all these things on the night of Yom Kippur before Kal Nidre. Shinu min hagam lomar Kal Nidre kolam hashicha. They should change their custom. Stop selling the stuff before nighttime. First do Kal Nidre. Well, when are you going to sell Kal Nidre? That's the question. That's the biggest thing. It's the biggest money maker. Hidah says no good. You got to do Kal Nidre in the daytime, just like the Ramah says, and not in the nighttime. These are the words of the Hidah. So yes, the Hidah disagrees with what we're saying now. Okay, granted, we hate to lose him from the team. He does a big hitter, but our team still says we have the Rashba, we have the Ribash that says you should do Kal Nidre at night. The Hidah continues. He wrote a lot of books. The Hidah. I don't know the name of this town. Livorno, is that a town in Morocco? In Italy.
Livorno.
Therefore, in Livorno, Italy, they sell the Yom Kippur stuff on Shabbat Shuvah. Dafka. Why? Because of this reason exactly. Amazing, huh?
That's what the Hidah says.
This is the Hidah says. Better to sell them as what? A different time. Don't waste time selling. Get to the action. Get to the Kal Nidre. The Hidah says this.
But he's not addressing the issue. Because
people don't show up.
What he says, if you were concerned about your finance, do it on the Shabbat before. But
maybe they don't
that's
show up
not the
Shabbat.
concern. The concern is the people are not showing,
Right, so
and we need them to be
maybe in
there.
Livorno they came to Shabbat. The Shabbat Shuvah. They said,
Okay.
if the Hidah was speaking, I would also go to hear on Shabbat Shuvah. כדי להקדים המילה קל נדרה מבעוד יום לחידה. So this is Hidah's opinion. וכן כתב הרב הגאון מהרי הלוי בספר רוב דגן, אולם עדיין יש לומר, says we can still say, שבזמננו in our times, very nice the Hidah, like you're saying, in the Hidah's times, maybe this applied to Livorno, but in our times, שעינינו הרואות, we can see with our own eyes, שרבים מיחידי הקהל, many people from the shul, ובפרט אלה שמתגוררים רחוק מבית הכנסת, especially people who live far from the shul, מתאחרים לבוא בליל יום כיפורים עד חשיכה, they come late. A lot of people come late. לפיכך, therefore, we have to accommodate these people, not punish these people. Isn't that an amazing thing? Don't punish the people and say, hey, come earlier. No, it's okay. They come late. We will delay the proceedings until they come. We should definitely delay the Kal Nidre so they can join in.
It's not only mutar, it's a need.
Better.
It's a need.
Better to delay it. The Ab Bet Din of Alexandria Shel Mitzrayim. So too says the chief rabbi of Alexandria. Besefer Naveh Shalom. Ab Bet Din Kahir. Where is that?
Okay. Cairo.
In Cairo. In the Sefer Nahar Mitzrayim. V'gam halom ra'iti lagon Rabbi Chaim Palaji. It's a good one to have on our team. The Kafa Chaim Palaji. He agrees. Besefer Ruach Chaim. She agrees with the Ribash that we said. ליישב המנהג שנהגו להתאחד לומר קל נדרה בליל יום כיפורים אחר השיכה, to justify this custom that we have, that we say קל נדרה late. וראה עוד בשו"ת ויען משה, check out ויען משה, שהעיד שכן מנהגם בארצות המערב, this is the custom he says in the western lands, לומר קל נדרה בליל יום כיפורים אחר סרט הכוכבים, in the pitch black. בהסתמך גם כן על דברי הגאון מרן רב חיים פלאג'י, he agrees with רב חיים פלאג'י, לקף החיים, ולכן therefore הנח להם לישראל, leave them alone, leave the Jewish people alone, שיש להם מייסוי סמוכה, they have a lot to rely upon, ואם אינם נביאים, בני נביאים הם, and we are the sons of prophets if we're not prophets ourselves, and there's a star at the end, and the star says, it's a very short paragraph, I'll read it to you, and the star says, אף על פי שאמרנו עם הספר, where is that from? Anybody know that? Alpha Pisha Amano Imasefer. Where is that? Where is that from? It's from a pasuk in Megillat Esther. Liyashev ulkayem in Hagam Yisrael. Even though we just justified the custom, and all the shuls can relax. They can sell all the stuff they want to sell. They can sing songs and do Kal Nidre late at night, no problem. However, Mikom Akom still yesh le'a'id shebiyot u'mechirat hamisvot timshechet gam belil Yom Kippurim. You're selling stuff on the night of Yom Kippur, min hara'ui l'chol ha'hared barashem, the bal yasiach da'ato mikidushat hayom. Don't forget that it's a holy day. Don't forget it's a holy day. Umikol sheken shelo yefneh be'ota sha'a l'sihat hulin bebet ha'knesset. Don't just sit around and schmooze if you're not an active buyer in purchasing the stuff. Be'etzem hayom hakadosh שניתן למחילה או סליחה וכפרה, what a holy day, don't waste it. כפי שרבים נכשלים לדאבון לבב. A lot of people waste their time on this day. אלא כל מי שנגע השם בליבו, יעיין בספר בדברי תורה. If you're not going to buy stuff and participate in the auction, then get a book that you like and read it during the auction.
We like the books, so everybody's forced to buy.
The books are locked. Not my books. I got a lot of books already. Or ילמד משניות מסכת יומא. Learn מסכת יומא, which is all about יומא. It means the day in Aramaic. It's all about Yom Kippur. שנתפסה במחזורים. If you open the מחזור, you can't lock up the מחזורים. In the מחזור, they put the משניות יומא. Learn that. או יעיין בתחינות וסליחות ובפרושיהם. Or look ahead in the Siddur and read the סליחות. Look at the songs. Try to prepare yourself. Have כוונה. כדי שלא יאבד לריק ולבהלה. הזמן היקר הזה, don't waste this precious time. אשר מחזה שלא יחזה. ובכלל ראוי לגבאי בתי כנסת, it's the board, the people in charge of the shul should really be careful. שומרי משמרת הקודש, they're in charge of this, the holy proceedings. לתת הוראה למי שעוסק במכירת המצוות, talk to the auctioneer. לסיים המכירה בזמן קצר ככל האפשר, to try to speed things up, once, twice, 3 times sold. ועל זה נאמר, ויאמר לקוצרים, השם עמכם. Where is that pasuk from? Boaz told the kotzerim, the people who are cutting the wheat, God bless you. So where's the play on words here? The people who cut the time and make it quick, God bless you. And that's the end of the halakha. So the bottom line is, what's the bottom line? Ramah holds,
We hold that.
yes, let's go through the 3, yeah? Ramah in Shulchan Aruch says you should do kal nidre, if you're Ashkenaz, you should maybe in the daytime before it gets dark, right? Because it's not sorech Yom Kippur. However, we hold, according to the Dibash and the Nashba, the Papahayim and others, that it's the opposite. You should do kal nidre in the nighttime and push it off so people can come to shul, and you should wait for them. And the Hida looks like the sole heavy-hitting Sephardi rabbi who agreed with the Ashkenazim and said he should not do kal nidre in the nighttime. You got to get moving and sell the stuff earlier. That's the Yehave daat for today. I wanted to do 2 today. What time is it?
10:20.
No, that's it. I wanted to do 2. The second halakha, I'll just tell you the bottom line. I won't get into it. The second halakha, the question was, in Musaf, if you look at a mahzor of Yom Kippur, in the Musaf, when we say the Korban, in part of the prayers, to say, Et musfeh Yom Kippurim hazeh. And the question is, should you say Et musfeh Yom Kippurim if it's a weekday, or should you say Et musaf Yom Kippurim? And he goes into a whole thing, and the Chacham Ovadia is very passionate. I really wanted to read it to you guys. He's very passionate, and he says, under no circumstances should you say Et musfeh. You say Et musaf. I looked at hours, and it says Et musfeh. In parentheses, it says something.
On a weekday.
On a weekday, Yom Kippur.
Because there was only one korban.
There's 2 korbanot. That's why people say, I'll give you the 30-second rundown, all right? On Yom Kippur, there were 2. They did one. There was one se'id bifnim. There was one se'id that they did, one goat inside, and there was another one. So therefore, since there were 2, people say, well, musfeh is plural. Add a yud at the end, it makes it plural, right? And so there was 2 korban musaf. You should say et musfeh. However, Hakam said, no. Both of these korbanot are only coming because today is Yom Kippur. The only time we change the word et musaf to et musfeh is when you have 2 holidays, or a holiday plus a Shabbat, or a Shabbat plus a Rosh Chodesh.
In other words, targeting 2 different
2 separate
purposes.
reasons to bring a korban musaf.
So hypothetically, if there were 5 korbanot, it still would be musaf because
they're all coming for Yom Kippur.
The same target.
On Shabbat Rosh Chodesh, we say et musfeh. And so he said, Chacham Ovadia is so passionate about this. In the end, he writes, take your pencil, he says, go to the mahzurim in the shul and cross out et musfeh and make it write musaf. And he says, God should bless you if you do this. Et musaf. And so,
Salt is not a good word.
and so let's see what the Hazan does on Yom Kippur. If you're going to stay with us, cool. Let me end this one.
Hazak about.